fire if it's just dancing on its own in the background, like it doesn't have a partner in a club. Audio Jungle.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of EXE Not Working. We're Chad and Chunk.
And this week, we're gonna talk about the movie.
Alright, so let's get into it. First things first, we want to establish that this movie is a historical fiction. Yeah.
We've taken real existing facts and we've added some panache, some flair to it.
Yeah. So basically what we mean is the three Chola siblings, that is Vikram, Trisha and Jayam Ravi, their characters are rooted in reality and Nandini is totally fiction.
And of course, Karti's character, Vandiyathevan, is a real character.
So, this is gonna be an interesting development. We're very curious to see how this is gonna play out. Okay, let's start with, how did you feel about the casting? What did you think about the cast?
When I saw Karti as Vandiyathevan, I just knew this was it. I couldn't imagine any other Tamil actor.
Dude was born to play this role. He has been preparing for this his entire life. So much so that it became his personality. Because Karti came as Karti and I was here for it 100%.
He was honestly...
I'm here for whatever Karti did. 11 on 10 for Karti.
Exactly, 11 on 10 for Karti. Let's talk about your favorite, Vikram.
Okay, so out of everyone, keeping Karti aside, I feel like Vikram did the most justice to the role that he was given. So he was like this very, love lost, love torn, very traumatized by Nandini dude. So he played it to perfection.
But what was a pet peeve for me was in the final scene, he goes, "This is all Nandini's fault." And I'm just like, your brother is dead. And even now, you're just like, I want to kill Nandini, man. It's all her fault. Like, can you not think of that woman for a few minutes? Because, in the beginning, he sets this up.
Yeah.
He's the one who says, I sense something brewing. Go find out what's happening and go tell my dad and go tell my sister.
Yeah.
He is somebody who's portrayed in the start as sound of mind. He senses. He's somebody who's not just an angry, sad person.
Actually, for me, I feel like that was a very accurate line. I'll tell you why. Because a great example of that is when he thinks he has lost his brother and he's so consumed by this trauma that he carries with him that even in a moment where he thinks he has lost his brother, all he can think about is Nandini.
Yeah.
So that I felt was a good place to insert the Nandini.
Okay.
Nandini, who's got multiple layers, and throughout the movie you're wondering like what's gonna happen to her. Like in the beginning, she's introduced as this as Sarat Kumar's young wife, and you're like, oh, who is she? And then and then they keep referencing her as the person pulling the strings behind the curtains, and then you're like, okay, so is she running the Chola kingdom? What's happening? And then you kind of see some things where she's talking to some shady people, some black magic people, and you're like, what's this lady up to? And then she kind of like does a Uno reverse on Karti, and so many things happen with her.
The thing is, the only things that you are able to establish eventually, slowly, is that okay, she is a Pandya spy for what? And then Vikram tells the story, and then you're like, I see, she was his lover. Okay, so that's why she wants revenge. Was it for love? But then there was this one scene that I really, really, really love, where she goes to the palace with her husband, and she looks at the throne, and she imagines like her younger self on the throne, and my God, the younger self, whoever acted her, it was perfection. It was beautiful. Like Nandini as a character won in that scene. Because the minute, in like those few seconds, you completely understood. This was not about a broken heart. This was not about love. This was not about revenge. This was about power. When I saw Trisha, she seemed regal. In that, Kundavai was like the princess. She had the king under her control. She had both her brothers under the control. And Kundavai was always regarded as the woman who created the Chola. I mean, at least during the Raja Chola period and his son's period. She is regarded as the Shadow King.
So that one example that they did give of her, where she goes into that room and she talks, and there's the
oh, I love that scene. I love that scene.
Sarat Kumar and gang are like conspiring against the king, and she goes and she dutify them, and she's like, let's talk about marriages.
And she's like, don't you guys have like kids? Like, don't you have like a daughter? And these guys go, I have a daughter too.
Exactly.
And she's just like, I won. One thing that I did like about that scene is how strategic it was. It wasn't some amazing move. It wasn't warfare. And what she did was like a beautiful example of how, you get things cleanly sorted. And it doesn't have to be like an outside help, and she doesn't have to rely on anyone. It doesn't have to have like careful planning. It could just be like an easy comment and things will start falling into your plate.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite scenes, and I just wish we could have had more of that personally.
And I think certain parts where, she goes and tells her dad, like, listen, there are people conspiring against you. He straight up goes to Sarat Kumar and he's like, bro, are you conspiring against me? And then they say some shit and then he's like, yeah, okay, cool, send the thing to
and in that scene, Trisha's like, I feel ominous.
She has this like gut feeling, she has this instinct, like some shit's brewing somewhere. Prakash just said, yeah ma, something's happening, but our family now paathukurom vidu. And I'm like, okay. So I
feel like Prakash has said that line multiple times in multiple movies. Yeah, I let this play. I'm gonna go meet Big Bro somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that Big Bro's gonna be like, boo-hoo, you were jealous of my ex. And she's like, dude, she was like a poor nobody, dude. You're like comparing that to me. I'm a princess.
Exactly.
Excuse me. I'm offended. You think just because she's a beautiful face, it will work like that? No. And then we have our favorite Jayam Ravi as Ponniyin Selvan. I actually really liked him for the role.
Yeah.
And I feel like he acted well too, because you kind of show him as this calm, composed, sweet person. He doesn't have this temper his brother does. He's not exactly as cunning and conniving like his sister is. He's somebody who is portrayed as this genuine.
So he's the youngest brother, right? They start with like his journey of becoming this prince, and he was very early on. That we catch him in is very early on. We see Vikram already war-torn, and Kundavai has been running the empire for a while now. This is Ponniyin Selvan, like he's left home.
No, I get it. I suppose he still has like the enjoyment of a child.
Yeah,
and it sets with him.
Yeah, Jayam Ravi played that. He convinced us that he's a young prince.
The final fight scene. This is the final fight scene in the movie, and they somehow did not do it for me.
No, for me, it was like, first of all, it was really dark. I couldn't see anything. And things are happening in the ship. People are fighting. People are stabbing. Someone got stabbed.
And I didn't know who it was. I am squinting my eye and I'm like, there is so much chaos.
Fire was just existing in the background.
Why have a fire if it's just dancing on its own in the background, like it doesn't have a partner in a club? We could have done without you.
Fire was an unpaid actor.
Fire was here for the experience.
Fire was doing an internship.
And then there's this whole chase scene that eventually leads up to him meeting Nandini again.
Yeah.
That chase scene was good. You don't know where he's gonna jump from next or what's gonna happen next. People are jumping from these places like they don't have normal legs and they have bloody steel implants for bones. I'm like, how are you even moving after that fall? Like,
bro, it was the buttermilk. It was the free more. But yeah.
Honorable mention, that was Nambi as, I think, Jairam.
That was Jairam as Nambi?
Oh, yeah. Jairam as Nambi. And oh my god, it was so perfect.
I am 100% here for like this duo of Karthi and Nambi.
They should have their own stand-up comedy show. We should have like an animated story of just these two going and having their best life and their best adventure.
And I already know what the first episode would be. It would be that episode where they're like, basically they go to this fort and this Sarat Kumar and his buddies are conspiring, and Karthi's like, you know, climbing up this fort with all his life, and Nambi's already there.
He's taking a peek and he's like, yes, no. I'm like, Nambi, give me some of that stealth, because I am much younger and much healthier and I walk like a duck.
And Karthi's like, how in the world did this guy
scale a fortress? And we're like, bro, you're built different. Nambi is an alien or a cyborg. This is like the only convincing conclusion I can come up with, because man has pulled some inhuman feats. Yeah, I think I was happy. So my takeaway from this film was, while it was really good, it wasn't over the top. The protagonist was somebody you could chill with.
Yes.
Where definitely, I would say it has its faults, but it definitely has its winning points also.
I'm very glad to have this movie. I'm really glad that this is like a movie that we can go back and we can show it to people.
Exactly.
I mean,
have you seen Ponniyin, Selvan?
Exactly.
Am I gonna flex about this movie?
This is 1000% flex movie. So
I think we'll call it a wrap. I think we've told you exactly how we feel about this movie.
Alright. Okay, see you guys next week.